session. So far, in this Elements of Mechanical Engineering subject, we have gone through the module 1, some of the topics in module 1 that consisting of sources of energy, basic concepts of thermodynamics and steam. So we have covered already the source of energy and basic concepts of thermodynamics in the previous sessions, and now we will move to the next topic in the module 1, so that is steam. Okay. So in this session we will discuss about the formation of steam. As we all of us know that steam is gaseous phase of water. So the steam is usually produced by boiling or nothing but evaporating the water. Okay. When the water is heated, first the temperature of the water rises, so that temperature of the water increases, and after reaching some temperature, certain temperature, the water starts boiling. So this the boiling point, it is not the same under all the conditions. It depends upon the pressure. So if the pressure changes, that then the boiling temperature of water also changes. Okay. So under the condition of pressure, at some temperature the water starts boiling, and gradually, and if the heating is continued, the water is converted into vapor, nothing but the gaseous state. So once that all the water is converted into vapor, then that is called as completely the water is converted into steam. So that means steam is formed. If the heating is further continued, then that steam is getting heated, and that increases the energy content of the steam. So that steam, it is called as superheated steam. So that means when the steam is heated further, so that produces the superheated steam. And the steam is used in many applications. So major application of the steam is in the steam power plant, nothing but the thermal power plants, where the steam is used as a working fluid. And also the steam is used in some of the industries, like in the food processing industries, in refineries, in some chemical plants, etc. The steam is used. Also, the steam is used for some process applications in the industries. So in order to dry some materials, or in order to produce a warm atmosphere inside the room, etc. So that the process heating is also done with steam. So next we'll move to the major topic of the today's session. It is about the formation of steam. Okay. So here the formation of steam at constant pressure. Okay. Here you can see cylinder and the piston arrangement. So cylinder in which the piston can move. So over the piston some weight W is kept. Okay, so the different stages of steam formation, the different stages of the steam formation. These are shown in this the figures A, B, C, D and E. And similarly, this is the figure 1 showing the different stages of the steam formation. And the next figure 2, it is showing the temperature enthalpy diagram. So during this steam formation, the temperature of the initially in the form of the water which is supplied as an input, as the temperature increases, how the energy content of that it is called as a enthalpy. So how the enthalpy changes. So this relation, it is given in this temperature enthalpy diagram. So that is called TH diagram, temperature enthalpy diagram. So start with the first stage. So in this, consider 1 kg of water at 0 degree Celsius taken inside a cylinder with a freely moving piston which is shown. So it is acting above the water. So weight W is placed over the piston. So this is as shown in this figure A. So then the weight of the piston and the weight W which is placed over the piston, this will exert some constant pressure P on the water. So piston and the weight W, these are producing some pressure P over the water. So that means these are producing some constant pressure. So that means the steam formation which is taking place in the constant pressure. So, okay. Here initially let V is the volume of the water. So that means the volume occupied by the water inside the cylinder. So the condition of water at 0 degree Celsius. So initially the water is at 0 degree Celsius. So its condition is shown as point A in the temperature enthalpy diagram. So A is the initial condition of the water. Then when the water is heated at constant pressure, it is converted into steam. So the various stages these are explained. Next, on the heating of the water, the temperature of water will rise. At certain temperature, water begins to boil. So that means you can see in the TH diagram. So from point A, that is water at 0 degree Celsius, the heating is done. So gradually the temperature of water will increase. So say it may reach to some temperature where the condition of the water it is reaching B. So that temperature it is shown as Ts. Okay. So this the Ts is known as saturation temperature. Temperature. So on reaching this saturation temperature, this water starts boiling. Okay. So it depends, this saturation temperature is not constant, it depends upon the pressure It depends on pressure. It changes according to the change in pressure. Okay, saturation temperature is not constant. Okay, so here once this the water reaches the saturation temperature, so that is shown in this figure B. Water at boiling temperature, that means when the water reaches that saturation temperature Ts. Okay, here you can see the volume of the water, initially it was less, and on heating the volume of the water slightly increases. Okay, and here what is the volume of the water? It is shown as Vf, and then once the water reaches the saturation temperature and the heating is continued further, then gradually this water is converted into vapor, starts converting into vapor. So gradually when the heating is continued, you can see that the temperature will not change. Temperature will not change. Temperature will remain as the saturation temperature only, but gradually the water starts converting into vapor. So from B, so initially when reaches the saturation temperature, gradually when the heating is continued, gradually the vaporizing is occurring. So that vaporizing on reaching the point C, that means all the water is completely converted into vapor or a gaseous state. Okay, so between B and C, this is a vaporizing line. So between B and C, it is a partially liquid and partial vapor. So that mixture is consisting of liquid and vapor. Okay, see here in this case, the figure C here, the volume of water, it has again increased. So that volume, it is shown as Vfg. So you can see that F is understand it is in for liquid, G is for vapor, nothing but gaseous state. So Vfg means both liquid and gases are there, or vapor, liquid and vapor, or liquid and gas, so they are present. So volume is further raised. Then on reaching the point C, the water, it is completely converted into vapor. So then once that point C is reached, so that means all the steam, the liquid part, it is completely converted into just a gas, but the temperature, it is still the saturation temperature only. So that is shown in the figure D, that the dry steam, it is a dry steam means there is no liquid fraction in that mixture. There is no liquid, only it is completely converted into gas, but it is at saturation temperature. So that is its volume is given as V suffix G, Vg. Vg is the volume of that steam at saturation temperature. Okay, so inside the cylinder you can see just it is completely a vapor. There is no liquid, so it is completely vapor. And then all the water, it has been converted into steam, but that steam is at saturation temperature. And further, if the heating is continued, you can see from point C, when the heating is further continued, again notice that the temperature again starts increasing from point C. If the heating is further continued, temperature again rises. So say up to some temperature D, if the temperature is increased, so that means the steam is said to be superheated. That means on reaching the point C, that means water is converted into steam. So the heating is continued and the energy of the steam is further increased because its temperature again increased. So energy content of the steam, it is increased. So say point D, it is called as some superheat temperature. So it is not a fixed temperature. So it can be anything depending upon the constraints. So that superheated steam, the temperature it is shown as T superheat, T suffix super. So that is T superheat is a superheat temperature. So that means from this temperature enthalpy diagram, we can see that from A to B, it is initially water is in a liquid state, water is heated and the temperature increases. So when it reaches point B, so that is the saturation temperature, the water starts boiling, it is converted into vapor, and when the heating is continued, the temperature will not increase, but the phase transformation takes place from liquid to vapor or liquid to the gaseous phase. So from that BC is a horizontal line, because there is no increase in temperature, but whatever the heat which is applied, heating is done, that heat it is used to produce the phase change from liquid to gas. So on reaching point C, where all the liquid is converted into vapor or gaseous phase, suppose if the heating is continued, then that will again increase the temperature. From C to D, we can see the temperature increases. So that means superheating of the steam is done. That steam, the condition it is called as a superheated steam. Okay, so this is about the different conditions of steam. First it is liquid, then gradually it is converting into liquid and vapor mixture. Then completely at point C, completely it is vapor, and after then it is superheated. Okay, these are the different states of the steam. So then whatever the heat content, that is called as a enthalpy. That enthalpy, when the water is in the liquid state initially from A to B, and the water is in the liquid state, its enthalpy it is given by HF. So H suffix F, that means F is, we can say it is a liquid, for F is notation for a liquid condition. Okay, HF is the energy content or enthalpy of the steam when it is in the liquid state. So that means when the heating is done, gradually that enthalpy will change as the temperature changes from A starts increasing, its enthalpy also increasing. That means when the heating is done, the energy content or enthalpy starts increasing. So from A to B, whatever the enthalpy or whatever the heat content of the water, so that is called as HF. So HF is, it is also given one more name, it is called as sensible heat. So sensible heat is nothing but when the heating is done, when the water is at 0 degrees Celsius to when it reaches the boiling temperature. So what is the heat added? what is the heat added to that water, it is called as sensible heat. And then further heating from point B, again the enthalpy of the steam, it is increased up to point C. From B to C, whatever the enthalpy, it is taken as the latent heat. Latent heat, it is also given by the notation HFG. HFG, it is nothing but the latent heat. So some at point C, whatever total, what is the enthalpy? What is the total enthalpy? It is nothing but Hg. Whatever the at point C, the enthalpy of the steam is Hg. So that is nothing but sum of HF and HFG. So enthalpy of the steam at point C, that means at the saturation temperature. At the saturation temperature, the enthalpy of the steam, it is given as Hg. So that is equal to HF plus HFG. And then after point C, when the heating is continued, the superheating of the steam is done. So it's say the superheating is done up to point D, say to some temperature, some superheat temperature, T superheat. So up to D, if it is heated, so that superheating, that enthalpy in the superheated region, it is given by Cp dt, Cp into change in temperature. So that change in temperature is nothing but the T superheat minus Ts, that is saturation temperature. That means difference between superheat temperature and saturation temperature. So that temperature difference multiplied by the specific heat. So that is Cp dt, nothing but Cp into T superheat minus Ts. So this is the enthalpy in the superheat region. So once that at point D, what is the enthalpy? What is the enthalpy of the steam? It is given by the sum of Hg and Cp into Ta superheat minus Ts. So, or we can say H superheat, enthalpy of the superheated steam, it is the sum of HFG and the Cp Cp dt. Okay. So HF plus HFG plus Cp into brackets T superheat minus Ts. So this is the enthalpy of the superheated steam. Okay, so these are the different stages of steam formation and the corresponding temperature enthalpy diagram. So in the next session we'll discuss about the properties of steam. Okay, thank you.